was your trip?
Trip was awesome. You can't really beat Dubai for anything really. Like safe, the streets are clean. There's no taxes. The people are so nice there. They're like, I was trying to figure out my phone, and I called an Uber, and the Uber's like, "Oh, I'll do it for you," and it's like, "Oh, it only takes cash. I'll pay for it for you."
Oh my
Uh,
god.
like he had the little Cash App thing that I had to pay him back, but still, like it's
Yeah.
just was surprising how nice they were.
It's scary when you don't have things like that. Like, so when I moved to California, I realized that there's a big culture shift. There's a huge culture shock that happens. And when you don't have people that are, hey, how are you, neighbor? Hey, and they're not like that, you are just in this, like, okay, this is awkward. This is weird.
Are you in California now?
No, California back then. California
Where
back
are you now?
then, California 20 years ago was decent. California now, no. I just barely so from the cruise we went through Long Beach and that was awful. That was
No, I mean like where do you live now?
Oh, I live in Texas.
Oh yeah, I think I knew that.
Yeah, San Antonio. And San Antonio, so if you're going on like the cities with the best streets that are more cleaned up, San Antonio's on the lower. Like San Antonio is like where it's cheaper to live. There's just more population. It's like the ninth largest city in the U.S. or something. It's really like there's just a ton of people here. But Austin, of course, you get this huge culture shift from San Antonio to Austin. So
Austin's where it's like a lot of gay, right?
not not that I noticed,
That's
but
what I hear.
it's more like
It's an appropriate place to wear my shirt.
that's funny. So how long have you been back for? A couple days?
I got back Christmas Day actually. It was a nightmare of a flight. I missed my plane and I had to buy a second ticket which cost more than the return ticket.
On Christmas?
And yeah, on Christmas Day, it was super weird. Like we had to go right out onto the runway and board on stairs. Like I
That's
made a
weird.
video of that.
I hate
Yeah,
I
it was
hate
like
that because you feel like, are we
yeah.
supposed to be doing this? Am I like getting like
Am I getting a shitty flight here? Am I gonna get killed? Do we have a proper pilot? Better be a male pilot. I'm not flying with female pilots.
so it
If they
costs
can barely
twice as
drive their
much?
cars and keep them on the road, there's no way I'm getting into a plane with one.
Dude, there's complete okay, so there's a book that I really like, Daniel Kahneman, and it goes through how we think logically and the steps and processes of how we think logically. And it dissects how people in aviation go through their steps and procedures to logically think of, if this happens, you must do this, and then check this. And it goes through all of those processes. And all of those things, it's like if you're in an emergency situation, you need to have somebody that knows their shit. This whole that they're hiring that fire department lady that's just gay, like that's her
Yeah.
qualification, is like the house is on fire. Do you do A or B? Like, let's go to fireman basics school. And I know that it's
Yeah.
like a real thing. Like this whole book
It's
was about aviation,
diversity.
huh?
They say diversity is our strength. That's their pitch, but really it's a weakness.
Just you can fuck
Hire
up
the best
dinner
person for the
if you.
job. Like, why did we get away from hiring the best person from the job? 90% of the 90% of the time, I'm going to say it's a man when it comes to firefighters, pilots, police, construction workers, basically anything that's not like human resources.
Well, like anything mechanical, anything that is clerical, is women are really good at. I mean, that's just kind of a thing. Women do well in like that realm. But if you're doing anything mechanical or with your hands, you see me try to put the brakes on my bike the other day. It's fucking F
Well,
bomb.
those are the jobs we're going after with AI is the clerical jobs. So maybe we could get women back at home, taking care of children, fix the world, Men do the hard jobs and women raise the children, and the children get to grow up properly with a parent in the house and not raised by the government and TV.
True. Facts. Kids are raised by the government and TV, and it was kind of a um, having my daughter grow up and talking to like principals and teachers. There are kids out there that their parents literally don't care. Like, my kid got in trouble. Principal calls me, and she goes, "At least you showed up." This other kid, their parents didn't even show up. Their parents said, "Just let him go." Their parents didn't
Yeah.
even care to even stop by, to even have a conversation, to even. And there are kids out there that's like that. So you're going to be raised by YouTube influencers who care about clicks, and that's disgusting. And you're going to be raised by these teachers that have it ingrained in them. Everything that is taught through college, that's ingrained in them and how they do things. And a lot of that is very, it's politicized. It's totally
Oh
politicized.
yeah.
So,
Well,
I mean,
the whole college curriculum, even like school from kindergarten all the way up, they're not teaching free thinkers. They're teaching obedient workers. That's the whole object of school. There's only one way to get an answer, which is not reality. You have to show all your work, and it's got to be a specific way. Again, not reality. They're trying to make it so that every kid fits in a box, and especially boys who can't sit still and can't sit
and they're
in a
bad. They've,
classroom in a
they've got
dimly lit
ADD.
class and stare at a fucking chalkboard all day. Automatically, let's give them amphetamines
Yep.
because that's the solution to everything. And instead of just taking them outside near a river and letting them play or build something with a hammer and nails and some
Mhm.
wood, like they got to get boys out of classrooms and doing boy things that will actually stimulate their mind, because it's just stupid to just be feeding these kids nothing but stimulants, and it's basically cocaine and what's it called, crystal meth. It's the same shit what they're giving our kids.
I I really get upset about that. That all of a sudden you have regular kids in school through the 80s, 70s, and 90s, 2000s come along, and every kid has ADHD, and every kid needs
Yeah.
some kind of medication, and there's something wrong with them. And
Well, the other thing that went up in that exact same time frame is the amount of vaccinations that kids get. So if you compare the amount of vaccinations they put into kids from the day they're born, they don't even get out of the hospital and they're drilling them with like 30 vaccines. And then now ADHD and all this other shit's through the roof. Now, like I was terrible in school because I just see it as I was not programmable. I don't fit in your box. That's why I start businesses and I build bigger things, because I can't just go somewhere and do what I'm told. It doesn't make sense to me. Why would I do that if I can go start my own business? Why am I going to pay for this guy's dream if I could build my own?
well, and I am kind of lucky that I was in accounting. So in accounting, you're drilled to have correctness and be able to logically fall back on why this is. And some things, so in government accounting, so you have to go through all these different like types of accounting. So you're gonna do partnerships, or you're gonna do for the oil industry, and then you do these scenarios when you're going to school, right? And in government accounting, they make the logic, I'm gonna say, confusing on purpose. They make it so you don't, it's hard to understand, so people cannot, so they put idiots in charge there to say that this is okay, this flies, because the numbers do not make sense in government accounting, period. And that's just in like a logical flow where you would think if you're going to audit a company from top to bottom, you would think that it kind of has the structure of a regular company. You know, we have money that we can spend, some budget, some type of expenses, and it does not make its backwards sense and it's on
I
purpose.
think they do that on
It's
purpose
it's
so
on
that
purpose.
you just get used to the numbers not making sense when it comes from the government.
Yeah, you just get used to the numbers not making sense. So they put some idiot in charge that says it's always been like this. This is the way we've always done it. And that's where, okay, yeah, every time I've heard this is how we've always done it is where I find problems. That's where I find, oh, somebody has been putting their hand in a cookie jar, or, there's other stuff going on because nobody is checking it because they're just relying on that it's okay. And some business owners kind of work like that. They're just like, I set this up, I put this in place, it should be working fine. You've never double checked it. Like you've never double checked that, I don't know if I have a lot of stories, but just most recently, like there were 20 extra employees on payroll, like 20. So somebody could just log into the front desk computer because she always leaves her computer unlocked and print out a check. Like it could happen.
Nice.
Yeah, like for some random employee. Like and that's like okay, these 20 extra employees were not that's just irritating. But the way that we learn and the way that we're taught and that's what I'm saying is that in accounting I'm lucky because in accounting, that structure has actually made me better at doing things logically. So I don't think that the accounting industry is as messed up as the other, like law or communication or those other type of degrees. Because accounting, you have to go back to um, can we check and do controls for fraud? Is this going to be like an actual, the numbers? Is this going to be correct? And those things, like you can't manipulate. You can't manipulate certain things. They have to follow a certain order. You can't, some things, when you do learn it like that, I'm really appreciative of me going into accounting because of that. But every other, not every other, legal, I think legal is heavy in how can I be manipulative. It's
Mhm.
you learn how can I portray this situation to win, not what is correct or what is right. There's no morality in what you learn in law. It's just how can I do this to win? How can I flip this wording? And I see that like, and I don't like listening to Mario Nafal, the news guy that's on X, because he
Yeah.
always has these speakers on that her have heavy backgrounds in legal or law or have some heavy kind of degree and they're smart but they can flip situations very easily and manipulative and be manipulative doing it and it's I mean just because it's against my grain I'm just like well I don't like that. I don't like how they're portraying it. They're saying the facts, but they're doing it in this twisted, legalese way that controls the scenario, it controls the situation, and that's the narrative. I mean,
Controls of perception.
it controls the perception. So you have 1,000 people listening to Mario Nafal, and he has 10 speakers that are high in their degree and stature, and they're talking complete against conservative thought. Completely against conservative thought, and it's like
So probably paid.
probably paid. And yeah. So I appreciate my degree actually relying on things like numbers. I mean,
And I appreciate just not having a degree so that I can actually think with my real brain that's unprogrammed and use my actual logic that I actually think of, not something that somebody programmed into me and I'm just some talking head that repeats everything that they want me to repeat. And that's something that maybe AI can even help us with because AI will come in and just apply sheer logic to every situation. So, like, you go in to even the law and AI. So, like we got into our last one, AI is a better lawyer than most lawyers already. We could program a GPT to be a better, like, it can't stand up in court and fight for you, but it can do all your paperwork. It can do everything for you.
it's
And
going to
you
think.
can guarantee that the lawyers today are using it. They're not doing
Yeah.
their own work.
No, and it can go through all of the scenarios that you can't. you are not. So I was thinking, okay, I picked up a Bible the other day, tried to start reading it. Okay. And I'm like, how does somebody like get the app Bible and actually like follow along and learn something and actually get some value from it, right? And I'm like, well, usually with a book, you highlight stuff, you can write little notes on the side and you have this collection of your thoughts, but in a physical front to back, this is the Bible. When you ask AI, you are getting this is the knowledge of the universe that we know exists, knowledge stack, and it can search through that when
To
you
an
are limited.
extent.
I mean,
So AI is also limited to whoever programmed it. So I've noticed some real tendencies in ChatGPT
oh yeah.
to avoid some glaring realities. I'm not
Well,
going to
what'd
get
you
into it,
find?
but
What'd you
based
ask it?
about stuff about space, because I personally believe what the Bible said, which is we live on a flat Earth and there's a firmament and there's waters above and waters below, and pretty much every previous culture before us knew this. It's not until NASA came along with their fancy equipment, which in Hebrew means to deceive, NASA by definition. And Warren Van Braun on his tombstone has the Psalm quote that says that there's waters above and below. And he's the guy that created NASA. So there's little clues that it's all lies. Everything's a lie. And I don't believe anything unless I see it with my own eyes. I don't believe that anybody's been to space. I sure as fuck don't believe that when I can barely get reception in my condo, that the president in the 1970s or whatever talked to people on the moon through a little corded phone and had beautiful reception. Like you just look at these things that are glaringly obvious bullshit, and you can't help but say, okay, well, if they're lying about that, how much are they lying about, right? Like, okay, the president is talking to space from a corded phone, the little curly corded phone back from the 1970s or 80s, and we can't get reception from up the street to talk to each other. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, people, use your fucking brains on this shit. But anyway, I said I didn't want to get into it.
Wait, hold on. We went flat Earth, NASA, corded phones, back to AI. It's okay. Let's go full circle. I mean, that's
Uh,
that's what we do.
so it's all lies. That's my thing. NASA is nothing but actors. You know that they could not get Neil Armstrong to put his hand on the Bible and swore that he walked on the moon. He refused to do it repeatedly. They asked him like 6 times. He wouldn't do it. So there's
That's
something
crazy.
going on there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't know
there's
that. I mean,
just too
that's
many.
crazy.
I don't. There's just too many. I don't believe in coincidences. Number one, and oh, here's one for you. Have you ever seen a spaceship take off?
No.
How slow it looks.
Oh, okay.
Like
Like
it,
in a fake spaceship video where like,
no, like from a NASA
oh,
takeoff. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. And same with
so,
airplanes too. Yeah.
according to their own logic, in order to go through the atmosphere, they have to be going 8,000 miles per hour, which is, and now if you go to Google and you search the fastest ever known piloted craft speed, it's below that. And now you look at these crafts and they're going like this. You can barely see them. They're moving faster than the speed of light.
Yeah.
But then you look at the NASA spaceship and it's going like this.
Yeah.
It's like my grandmother's fucking Pinto moved faster than that.
I went to a
So
Starship
it's
launch
all
and
lies.
it was totally foggy outside, so I heard the noise because down in Texas, you go to South Padre Island, and then Starbase is over here, and so you should be able to from the island see the ship and the rocket and watch it go, but I only heard it because it was so foggy outside. So I hear this and it's like loud, right? But you're right. It takes like, it's just very slow. It just lumbers up there. And I mean, I never thought about that. And I don't think I would question like a company doing that. And that's what makes it more conspiracy theory is if the government's doing it, we question
Well,
it
have you
because,
looked up the definition? Like, I'm not lying. The definition of NASA in Hebrew is to deceive. That is the definition of it. And if you look up Warren Van Braun on his tombstone, I forget the exact Bible quote, but it's the one that says that there's waters above and beneath and that we live under a firmament. So, like, there's all these clues, and people are just so programmed by the government, by NASA, to think we live on this spinning globe that is spinning around like this. Now, if I take a cup of water and spin it around, what's going to happen to all the water? It's all going to fly everywhere. Like, they can tell me all this gravity nonsense all they want. It's all bullshit. If we were spinning around the speed that they say we are, we'd all fly off the earth.
well, and that's one of the things in school that I was not, I didn't get good grades when we started talking about gravity. And I was very young, right? So we start talking about gravity, and they have the feather drops at the same rate as the apple, right? And so you question that. Is this theory
What
true?
about smoke?
Well, and
If
yeah,
it,
smoke. What is smoke? Like smoke and
so
condensation.
say there's a train going and it's got the puff of smoke coming out, right? Out of its thing. The old school trains. And this is moving along. Now, if the earth is spinning and gravity is sucking everything down, why does the smoke go up?
Yeah. Well,
Makes
so
no
you
sense.
question this stuff, and then you're bad in school because you
You're
didn't
not allowed to
know,
question
because
it.
I was supposed to write down exactly what they said and blah 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 blah, and then they find out new shit, and then you're like, oh, see, I told you. Look, like, and it's stupid. I remember.
Smoke in general, now that we've got into this conversation, smoke in general, when you make a fire, smoke disproves gravity. Why smoke go up if gravity's sucking it down?
Yeah. Well,
I
and
never
you have
really
to go
thought
back
about it,
to
but
creation and God. Why do we have bodies that can suddenly exist in on this plane? Why? I mean, that's just some weird coincidence. That's just some natural. It just happened. I mean, we have
it's a
everything that we
spark.
need to think, to protect ourselves, to eat. We are able to sustain, and that just happened. Like, I mean, come on.
Well, some people think we evolved from monkeys.
What about giants, though? What
Giants
about giant
existed, and
theory?
so did dragons. So
I,
I have a theory on dragons.
what's the dragon?
Volcanoes are dragons that they died. Now, if you look from an overhead view of multiple volcanoes, I've studied this, they all look like dragons. And now, so if you there's a beetle out there, and in this beetle, in its rear, it's got two chemicals, and it allows it to shoot out fire from its ass, basically. So now, if a beetle can do that, that exists today, why not a dragon from back then?
Oh
Now,
yeah.
if the dragon landed and died and the volcano and the ground just kind of grew over it, it's not that far-fetched to think that maybe those two chemicals that were inside the dragon create lava, because that's my theory on volcanoes anyway. Now, I want you after this podcast to actually go look for overhead views of multiple different volcanoes everywhere, and they all have the look of a dragon too.
Well, if you think about like demons, dragons, our mind plays tricks on us. So if you are, let's say, some type of chemical imbalance in your mind, or you really are, I don't want to say on some spectrum or some realm where our reality is perceived differently, right? so you can see things. Okay. And I'm a person that believes that people do see things, future, ghosts, past, whatever, right? Entities, I believe that that is real. So you have evil that shows up in like a winged demon, or like something that's evil and scary, and it's our mind that either comes up with it, fills in the blanks, or it actually is something that has manifested. When somebody comes into a room, when somebody walks into a room and you feel their aura, that's real. And when something is dark and you go into like either a haunted place, or me and you talk about haunted cities, New Orleans, Amsterdam, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like those are like charged. Those are like those cities have an aura. Rome has an aura. Rome has a like, but it's more like a populous aura. I mean, some of these places they just have, and I got the chills saying that. Some of these places they just have where like you can sense something else. So whether demons, dragons, our mind, either it's manifested or it is seeing something real. I mean, I'm not going to say that those people are crazy, because I've heard people that sound
Because
like
I'm
they're
one of them.
no. I've heard people that like kind of have lost their mind a little bit, right? Like people that have like started kind of rambling in like parable type talk, right? And they just like kind of go off sometimes, and you're like, are they like thinking they're
That's
Jesus
me.
or no, but I mean like they'll start rhyming and everything makes sense to them. And they're just like, no, because da 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 da. And you're like, what happened to this person? Right? And
I,
something has pushed them into either they are like stuck in talking like that, and just because it's not conforming with what we think is normal doesn't mean that it's not either real or real for them. So I don't know. I definitely think that there's a realm. I think that there's a realm that either we can or we can't see, or that some people can see, or that it's manifested in their mind and makes it real. Because you have things that happen to people, like people with bad aura that are like always bad things happening to them. It's like they make things that are bad happen to them. It's like,
yeah, well, if all you think about is bad things, then you're manifesting bad things. If it, like I believe that's 100% real. Like, for instance, people that always think about, oh, I gotta make money, oh, I'm broke, oh, this, they're never gonna make money because they're manifesting their own situation in lack. Whereas people that just are grateful for what they have and they're pushing forward, they're always going to make more money because they're manifesting the future. They're not thinking about the money. Manifesting is real, but it's not real in the sense that, oh, I'm going to say a bunch of shit every day and it's just going to come true. It's real in the sense of you program your mind to believe that you are this person that you want to be, and then your mind has no choice but to perform in a way that that person would perform and do the things that that person would do. Then that in turn gets you to your goal.
yeah, I
That's how
think.
I believe manifesting works.
Oh shit. I mean, everything that we've talked about in the last couple days, I think has a lot to do with how we perceive ourselves, what our intention is, like our personal intention. And it's really hard to like get that out sometimes, because if you're sitting alone and all you have is, yeah, I have my business, I talk to my clients, and you do everything alone. You're in this bubble almost, and you have no feedback. So you can't see if you're doing that. You can't see if you're doing it well. You can't see if you're doing it wrong. You don't have any feedback. And so to be true and actually manifest, it's easier when you have other people around you that are kind of reflecting and giving off the vibes. If I come to you happy, or if I come to you scared, or if I come to you, with any type of, weird um, personality, that's kind of different. Why are you acting like that, Jen? Well, I don't know, or timid or something, right? I come at
Yep.
you in a way that's, strong, that's, ready to go. That manifests. And so you react to it. You let me know that, hey, this girl, we're working on the next steps. We're confident. We're doing this thing next. Come to you with like a weird shift, and it affects you, because that changes a person. You live in little bubble, you'll stay in little bubble. You'll stay, I can't affect the world, I can't do anything, or whatever. You'll stay there. And that'll
Yep.
become you. But
You are whatever you think you are.
yeah, I think that everything we've been talking about the past couple of days is kind of roped into that.
Just
So
so you know, we're now 32 minutes in. We haven't said a thing about business. Should we talk about anything other than conspiracy theories and my own crazy thoughts that I have?
yes, we should. Okay, so both me and you, we like to build stuff that makes sense and build stuff that helps people get to the next kind of steps, right? So it's fun because we can see somebody who has an issue or discover, what their real issue is, because they may say, "Oh, well, I just need to hire a social media person." Or just, that's just what I need to do, because in their mind, they're straight with that. They've already convinced themselves that I just need to hire a social media person, which is, they're thinking 20 hours a week. They're thinking they can hire, outsource. And me and you, we kind of look at that and say, wait, look at the situation. Do you need to hire a social media person? Do you need, and a lot of people want a custom system and will only do business a certain way. I don't know how many times there are rules in a business that must be followed just because the owner wants it that way. The owner
Hmm.
does it like this. They've learned some type of lesson in the past and they want it like this, and that's the only way that it can be done. And so when they put that out there, they try and, okay, I just need to hire this person, or I just need to hire somebody for marketing, I just need to hire somebody for accounting. They are kind of outlining, okay, if I could have this person do anything, do everything that needs to be done in that realm, what is that going to be? And me and you kind of look at that as, well, how can this be solved in another way where somebody's not doing some of these lame tasks? Like some of the lame tasks that used to be done were when we would do social media posts, we would actually have to scroll through Shutterstock and deposit photos and find an image that would actually work with the brand. And then we'd have to go take it into Photoshop and go add the logo and go make some, put the words on there and make it so it's, decent looking. And that was a ton of time. And now it's like in this last few years, you're able to even do product mock ups, where if you can think of a product, you can develop it without even touching Photoshop. And
We have an AI agent that does social media, and it comes up with its own posts, its own photos based on the post, and posts it for you. And you don't have to do a thing, and you don't need a human to sit there and do anything. It's
well,
just all automated.
and back in the day, so I was pretty okay at doing social media. Why I was okay at it is because number one, I cared, right? Having a social media person that doesn't care and just wants to get paid is like there's a huge group of those people. They're out there. Right? If you haven't run into them, they're out there. But when I did social media, I would go through an interview with the owner to figure out what the brand is, because a lot of businesses that aren't doing any kind of marketing yet, they're like, it's just word of mouth. Well, do some social media, do some branding, do some things to make it a more solid marketing function. And so I would interview the owner. get their verbiage, get what they pride their business, how they pride their business, what makes them proud, their steps, their processes. And that interview was different than what other people were doing. Other people are, sure, you have a HVAC business, I will do that, and just do whatever. And it even goes down to like the colors. If it doesn't match the business, like if the business has no branding and you're going to throw red and black colors on it, like does that even match how the steps are going to go in the marketing process? And is it going to clash? So with AI, people don't realize that they're thinking, oh, I just need to hire somebody, because if I have somebody that comes into my office or that is required to work the 20 hours a week, that they're going to be able to do all the marketing and blah, blah, blah. I'll pay them this much a month. And I kind of suspect that. And, that way I'll be able to watch what they're doing. And that's like the logical step in what people think. And then they also kind of put out there, I know in accounting they do this, probably more than marketing. I would like a person with 10 years of experience to come do data entry. If you have somebody with 10 years of experience, and they usually do, they usually want 5 or something years of experience doing accounts receivable, which is data entry. Like, no, if you have somebody that's been doing that for 5 years and
They're
only,
probably
and
not very good,
they're
or they
not,
would have gotten a
they are
promotion.
not a go-getter. They are not a go-getter. They are the person that is going to suck you dry on the clock and just clock in and do their data entry. And if you don't give them anything else, they'll just sit there. They will just sit there and run you dry. There's a
Yep.
couple employees through what I do that get their 40 hours a week no matter what. I don't know what they do. We don't know what they do. We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, it's a big problem out there when you're auditing these businesses. You have so much waste with people that they think they need, or they think they have a responsibility to hold on to. When you have 4 people standing around the coffee machine chit-chatting for an hour that are all getting paid, that are all honestly replaceable by AI, you're wasting a lot of money in your business. And we can go through and replace. So, like most companies, we can honestly delete, like any company that's maybe 50 plus people. We can delete 10 people and the company will run better, because 10 people are doing nothing if they have that many employees. They're doing nothing productive that AI can't do better.
Yeah,
And that's
especially
just
in
factual. We've
office
seen it over and
administration,
over and over. Yeah.
all of the, I mean, if
Office
they're actual
administration,
servicemen,
that whole job is essentially useless with AI, because there is not a human that can do the job better than AI. AI is more organized. It doesn't take time off. It doesn't take coffee breaks. It doesn't have arguments with their significant other and come into work moody, and it doesn't get sick. Like, it's just, it doesn't have problems that office administrators all seem to have.
well,
Right.
and usually, so a lot of times a business owner's first employee is, I just need an assistant, you know,
Yeah.
and that's everything that I don't have
That's an
time to,
ego hire.
huh?
I call that an ego hire.
Is it?
It's
Oh
something
my
just to feed the
gosh,
ego.
you're right.
It's like,
Let
oh,
me
I got,
tell my
and then they get
assistant
to tell their friends, oh, I'll just get my assistant to do that.
to get my assistant to run the Riverside app. No, I'm just kidding. Just because I'm not good at it, man.
We could build you an assistant that's better than your assistant as well. That's no problem.
It's
Our
totally.
assistant never forgets,
Mhm.
never takes a day off, and is always there to talk to you no matter what. Never takes a holiday.
And isn't it that, well, I would know this. Being the assistant, you're a sounding board. Like
Yeah.
you're there to listen. I'm an
So
emotional
AI
support
can also
animal.
do that better. So I can program your assistant to either be a sounding board, to be a yes person, or to be harsh. Like my AI in particular will tell me that's stupid. do it this way. Like my AI is very harsh on me. Like if I give it an idea, it'll say, well, that's very weak and you should do it this way instead. And that's how I've programmed it through prompting. But most people's AI, they're programmed to be yes man. It's like, yes, yes, oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, yeah, let's
Well,
do it
and
that.
we were talking
But
about
mine is
ChatGPT.
specifically programmed to be an asshole.
Yeah, and ChatGPT is like one of those examples where it is very narrow. It doesn't, oh shoot, I just got to trying to reconnect. Okay. It's very narrow. So it will give you a scope, but only right here. And that's like, okay, if I did want a badass assistant, which that's another
So
fallible thought.
ChatGPT can do that. You got to go into its settings and drop a prompt in. That's like I use ChatGPT as well as Grok, but ChatGPT can do the job properly once you understand how it works. And you go into the settings, and if you know how to prompt, like prompting is not what people think. It's not a little thing. Like we have prompts that are like a like two chapters long, like in a book, like we could do a prompt this big and ChatGPT will take it all.
I think that it's a fallible thought to think that I run a business, I'm high level, I deserve this much pay, but I want somebody to do the tasks that I don't have time for, but I'm going to pay them some assistant level, down here. And I only need them for,
Why would they even do that when they could use AI to do that for them and not pay anybody?
well, and that's the thing, but that's the first step. That's
They
the
could pay
ego.
me.
It's the ego move. It's
Yeah.
I'm gonna hire an assistant, and that's the first thing. And I bet you if you ask 10 entrepreneurs that don't have any employees yet, that is their first move, that thought process in their head. Not so even if they are using AI, because a lot of us do use AI in everything that we do at this point. A year ago, that wasn't 2 years ago, that wasn't really the case. It was kind of this unknown thing where it's like, okay, the past couple of years, yes, we are using it, but not really considering that as that's my assistant. But how much time and productivity has happened because of it? So it's like it is happening. But if you still ask 10 entrepreneurs that don't have an employee yet who their first employee is going to be, I bet you're still going to get a pretty similar to the same answer. Well, I'm just going to hire an assistant first. My first employee is
They all say stupid shit too, like, "Oh, I gotta get my company registered. I need a website. I need this. I need that." Like, what you've got to do before any of that is get clients. The first thing an entrepreneur should ever worry about is clients, sales, money in. Before you worry about, oh, I gotta register with the government. I need a website. I need this. I need that. They all worry about the wrong things, and these are things that I've learned over the years is if you don't have money coming in, it doesn't matter what you have. None of that matters. There's no point in having a registered business with the government if you have zero income. You know
well,
what
and
I mean?
then
And that's where they go wrong. Test your business first. Go see if you can get clients. See if you can make a sale. If you can't make a sale and get a client, don't bother with any of the other shit because it's all just a waste of time.
yeah, and then they'll go ahead and go with an idea that they haven't tested yet, or have this idea that they think is the next best thing and hop. Then
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, they're on a different thing, and it's like, wait a second, weren't you working on this? And I thought that was the thing. And it's like, oh, well, you wouldn't hop if you tested and you started to make sales. You wouldn't be
Yeah.
hopping. You would be
And you should
solid and
never
okay. This
hop
is our
anyway. Like you should be dedicated. Like first of all, it takes a long time to get good at anything. You have to be willing to suck at something for 6 months. You got to suck and you got to learn and then you got to suck some more and learn some more and get better and better and better. If you're going to jump ship after a month, then don't be an entrepreneur because it's not for you.
It's what people do. They blame it on, oh well, it's just this issue, and I had a business that I got to a pretty good level So my business, I had a print shop, and so I had machines, vinyl, signs, postcards, business cards, all of that, right? And my mechanism for getting clients wasn't. I did not work on that enough, and so of course I go back and I think, man, I was making pretty good money. I did okay for half a minute, but I didn't focus on, like you said, making sales. Like I didn't. It was just happening, but it wasn't like a recurring. I couldn't duplicate that process, and so it's like, if you make an excuse, switch directions, you don't try it out, and you never really made those clients, and it's like, okay, you have a bunch of ideas, you've had a bunch of ideas for the past 2 years, and I'm sorry, you haven't moved forward in any of it. My friend, he has this app idea that I actually think is a good idea, and I'm like, yeah, I'll work on it with you, but you had to prove like that you're actually like going to do it. Like, let's get a client, and then we get one client and you actually follow through where I don't have to do your job, right? Sorry, this is how
Yeah.
partnership works. When I have to do
And
your
get
job, I don't
clients that
need
are
you.
outside of your warm network. That's another thing, because once your warm network runs out and your family runs out, then what are you going to do? I always say find stranger clients. Anybody can get their best friend or their uncle to sign up, but you need to have clients that don't know you from anything. That's what matters, because once you run out of people like that, then what are you going to do? You're just going to have nothing. So
Well, and that's why the outreach method is so good. Yeah, you're like, do I have to really outreach 20 times a day, 50 times a day? Do I really have to do this? But you're getting better. You
it
have
should
to
be 100,
define,
actually.
huh?
It should be 100.
Should
You
be
should do
100.
100
So
outreaches per day.
you have to define what you're selling in doing the outreach. And the first 100, you are gonna suck, and it comes across weird. And you're may I meet you? You're not gonna do well in your first 100 to your first 1,000. You're defining what you sell. If you're solid in what you sell, it's already sellable. Then it comes across so much easier. So my outreach message that I created, the last one that I created, took me about 10 seconds to create. And that's because it's a solid product. I know what I'm selling, right? But
Is it
the
for
product,
AI?
huh?
Is it for AI?
That one was for accounting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I did your last outreach message.
You're right. You're right. Um, yeah, I
I
think
think
we,
I think we should start thinking about wrapping this up. We're going on 50 minutes.
okay. All right. What else? Oh, I wanted to ask you, what ideas have you had lately, as far as new AI that you think is gonna come up, as far as new companies, like this year, 2026? What do you think is gonna be like popular? I know that X, Grok, those apps have made like,
Robots.
huh?
Robots are coming in 2026. They're coming in a big way. They're going to be home robots that do your chores for you. They're already out in China. They're big. In warehouse jobs, they're taking over. Amazon's laid off, I don't even know how many, 25,000 in Ontario alone. Um, Robots are the next big thing. It's the progression that Brain AI is going to move into as we scale. I'm planning a trip to China actually to make some contacts, and we're going to get into robotics, and that's what's coming next for us.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. Well, and that was my question for today. That was like the
Robot,
whole.
I've actually seen them too. They change their own batteries. They're starting to build themselves. Judgment Day is coming, and I want robots working for me so that they're my robots and they can fight off the bad robots that are trying to kill me.
Yeah, having things that are like that are programmable, like so they are open source, is going to be a really cool thing. I think that's going to be really cool, and especially like, so you have batteries and how what kind of energy source they have, like you said, they're changing their own batteries, like being able to repair themselves. So that means that you just
They're
extended your
also
warranty.
working on construction sites too. So
Oh, that's nice.
they're doing labor type jobs on construction sites where um like I saw a robot that went, got a tool bag, climbed the scaffolding, gave it to the carpenter. And this is
Wow.
happening right now in places. They're not showing it because they don't want everybody panicking. They're actually hiding it. But if you look for it, you can find it. But people should panic. Your jobs are not going to be here much longer. If you're not into robotics, AI, blockchain, if you're not creating something and you're just an everyday worker, you will be unemployed in the next 5 years. 100%.
Yeah, any of the tasks where you think you can just go to work mindlessly, like
Yep.
that's going away. If you think that
Yep.
somebody's going to employ you, I'm sorry, you do have to level up a little bit. That's totally
Well, why would I employ a human that I have to pay money when I could buy a robot for $30,000 that'll do his job 10 times better than him
not
and it'll
complain,
never stop doing it?
not have
No
any
smoke
injuries.
breaks. Yeah, no CPP, no nothing. no no EI, none of that. It just goes to work, and if it breaks its hand, then you just get it a new hand. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Whereas humans have all these rights, and being human is no longer going to be a thing. It's going to be the humans are going to run the AI, or they're going to be sitting in a room watching their little goggle mask thing, and that's going to be their life. They're going to
Well,
live their life through a digital world.
thanks, Shane, for scaring me. Now I'm gonna go read the Bible and hope that everything is gonna be okay.
It's not
One
going to
with
be
the
okay.
man.
People need to start seeing reality for what's actually coming. Everybody's sitting around thinking, oh, it's not going to take my job. Like, bro, it's doing surgery right now. If it can do a doctor's job, it can certainly do a plumbing
I
job
would way rather
or
have a robot than somebody with a 2.7 GPA. Like,
right?
yeah, yeah. Going to the doctor is such, and for me lately, going to the doctor has been a fucking nightmare. It's been a
Well, I
nightmare.
don't go to doctors. I
I
am my
shouldn't have.
own
I
doctor.
never have, and then
I
I'm all of a sudden,
I
oh,
don't
you
get
know that's
sick
free.
because I'm unvaccinated.
Ugh, it was a
Number one,
mistake.
I'm unvaccinated. Number two, I do a 3 day fast every single month, and fasting heals the body better than any kind of medication ever will. And number three, I don't eat any processed foods. I eat meat and vegetables, and that's it.
Let's talk about Maha and talk about processed foods next time. All right? Let's
Next
end
time.
this.
Yeah.
I hope I can figure out how to end this, but let's end this right now. Maha next time. Healthy and AI, of course. All right?